Well, here we are today at the fabulous Aston Park Fisheries near Sheffield. Winter fishing. It don't get any easier regarding your bait, what you need. Oh, there you go. It's angry, this one. And what a complex, and believe it or not, it's not far from my house. First time I've been here. Never been here before, and I can't believe it. It's fantastic. Lots of fishing, lots of lakes, fantastic calf, great shop. But I'm here today to do some winter fishing. Now we all know in winter, the most important thing is the location of fish. Find the fish, and usually if you find the fish, you can catch them. And what we've come to do to catch some fish, some F1s and maybe a lucky carp, if something like that, but mainly it's going to be F1s. And then when I come to the pot, you can see that's just a bit bigger than my thumb. That's the size of the little pot that I'm going to be fishing with. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to fill that pot up, I'm going to put my float in it, so it's exactly where the bait is, and hopefully the fish will home into it. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to get 6 or 7 micro Fulker baits, I'm going to put them in a mixture, I'm going to get a few Fishery pellets, just touch it so it holds in its own, like that. And then all I'm going to do, I'm going to ship out and I'm going to start, because I don't know the venue, it's more like a snake lake, it's probably 13 metres wide. I'm going to fish about 10 metres and I'm going to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know where the fish are. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to tap that bait in, so I've got a combination of Fishery, micro pellets and our 2mm Fulker. Once I put the bait in, I'm then going to hold it for the 10 seconds. Don't forget the 10-second rule above where the bait is. Lower the float. So my first thought on a new venue that I've not been to before is I'm trying to fish in the winter in the deepest water, which is about 10 metres. It's about 4 foot deep. And then I'm going to work out where the fish are going to be, because that's what happens in the winter. The location of the fish is really, really important. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm really looking forward to it. I love going to places I've never been to before, so it's a great opportunity. There you go, I've got one. How lucky is that? Straight in. And what is it? Little fish. Now that, I caught that because I believe the 10-second rule. The bait went in, my hook bait was in the middle of it, the fish have come in, picked it up, took it, and we've got one first cast. Not the biggest fish in the world, but in the winter it's not about the biggest fish, it's about catching fish. Look at that little beauty. Eh? Look at that. That is an F1. Look at that bonny little creature. How beautiful is that? Look at that. And that, if I catch them all day in the winter, I'll be as happy as Larry, whoever Larry is. But I'll be as happy as you can get. Beautiful. Because winter fishing is all about location of fish and catching them, and if you catch fish in the winter, it's great fishing. So that's all I'm going to do at rest of the day. Now the rig setup is pretty straightforward. It's not complicated. If you've watched my videos in the past and you know about the 444, 666, it's exactly the same. It's about 4 foot deep, 4.5 foot deep. So it's a 6-inch hook length, and it's going to be a 20 to 010 because it's nice and fine. You're fishing it winter, fish don't fight, but what you've got to do is get them on. Keep it nice and light. So an 010 to a 20, so I can put one of my 3mm Fulker bait micros on. Loop to loop. Why loop to loop? It's the most practical. And then a number 10 stot above it, 6 inches above a number 10, 6 inches above that, the rest of the shot. 666, you won't go far wrong. And that is a pretty simple setup. The float is 0.2 or a 0.3, depends on the wind, depends on the depth. In this case I've got one of each setup. I've got a 0.2 and I've got a 0.3, and I'm just going to work out which is best on the day. But usually if there's no wind, 0.2 will be the best. Keep it nice and light, you'll get more bites, therefore you'll catch more fish. So between the float then to the tip of the elastic it's going to be about a foot to 18 inches, 30 centimetres to 45 centimetres, depends on the wind. There's a bit of skimming wind today. I'm not biggest fan of back shots, but I've got a little back shot on for the simple reason just to keep the float still in that skim on the surface. And the elastic is the pink zip, which is about an 8, which is perfect for this style of fishing. It's a nice combination with a size 20 hook, which is perfect. And that's the perfect rig. I'm quite happy with all that. Oh, there you go. It's angry, this one. It don't like me, like most people. There you go. Wow, it's a real little scrapper, this one. Look at that. I'll tell you something, he's got some energy. I wish I'd have as much energy as that. Look at that. Never get fed up of catching them in the winter, would you? That's perfect winter fishing with Fulker Micro Naturals. Beautiful fishing. It don't get any easier regarding your bait, what you need. It's amazing. Most people kill the pegs in first 5 minutes by introducing too much bait. And here at Aston, I'm fishing for little F1s, maybe a better F1, maybe an odd carp, maybe a skimmer. So it's pretty simple. Fishery pellets are usually 2 mils. And them's the ones I'm going to feed with to start with. I've soaked them up, I've soaked them for 2 minutes. Just soak them for 2 minutes, run the water off and leave them. Just so they go a little bit spongy. Now they are fishery pellets. So usually when you go on the water with fishery pellets, you've usually got to have some of this because the fish are used to them. And then my hook bait, and also what we're allowed to feed here as well, are 2 mil, 3 mil Fulker bait micros. They're a newish bait, they haven't been out that long. They're a mixture of colours. You've got whites, yellows, black, reds and naturals. And that's all that you need, a bag of Fulker and a bag of fishery pellets. You don't need anything else. They'll last me. In fact, there's miles too many there for a day's fishing, and you can be feeding all the time. And one of the reasons is you don't feed a lot. Little and often is one of my favourite ways of fishing, and I teach people little and often. But in the winter, it's even littler, probably not as often. But little and often, you won't go far wrong. And that's my winter bait. Costs nothing, it's cheap, hardly any money, and you can catch plenty of fish. So that's my bait, summed up, pretty straightforward. I can honestly say that has been absolutely fantastic. What a day's fishing.